After returning to the safe harbors of Rocket Mortgage Fieldhouse, the Jarrett Allen-less Cleveland Cavaliers have once again emerged victorious. This was a hard-fought battle that saw both the Cavs and Orlando Magic trade jabs down the stretch, and it often seemed that for every run the home team would go on, the visitor had a response. It was playoff basketball to a T. It wasn't always pretty, but there was a lot to like about Cleveland's Game 5 performance. With that being the case, here are 4 numbers that stood out to me from Game 5. Number 1. 104. This one should stick out like a wine and gold colored sore thumb. No, my fellow Cavs fans, we are not in some alternate reality or the Twilight Zone or anything like that. After failing to reach the 100-point mark in each of the previous 4 games of this series, the Cleveland Cavaliers did in fact score over 100 points at a playoff game. Their 104 total points in Game 5 was just the second time during the JB Bickerstaff era in which the team has managed to surpass the century mark during the true postseason. And if you further expand things, when factoring in the play-in games following the 2021-22 season, the JB-led Cavaliers have scored over 100 in just 4 of the 12 total non-regular season games. Through 5 contests during the 2023-24 postseason, the Cavaliers remain one of only 3 teams in the field of 16 that are averaging less than 100 points per game, with the others being the Zion Williamson-less New Orleans Pelicans and the Jimmy Butler-less Miami Heat. So although 104 is still on the lower end considering that the league average for team scoring this season was 114.2 points per game, I'll take it against a very stingy Orlando Magic team that ranked 3rd in defensive rating this year. They did so in numerous ways. 42 of those points came within the painted area.
Mitchell holding it high in the air, gets it to go down.
39 came off of 3-point field goals.
Ricky to take it now. Pull-up jumper. Boom.
And 8 came off of mid-range looks, and 15 came at the charity stripe. Pretty balanced. Number 2, 23. Ladies and gentlemen, Darius Garland played some pretty damn good basketball in this one. And that began in the first quarter in which he scored 17 points. He drove into the heart of the defense.
Garland the other way. Oh, nice crossover dribble. That's called grease, folks. Slick.
He pulled up on Orlando.
See Marcus Morris Sr. more in this game, and he's in the lineup.
Garland straight ahead.
He cut to the basket.
3-point line. They're a 31% three-point shooting team on the season. That's 12. Beautiful ball movement by Cleveland.
He would follow that phenomenal first frame up by going scoreless in the second, but he would make some key plays down the stretch for his teammates, including this wraparound dump-off pass to Evan Mobley for a one-handed jam to put the Cavaliers up 102-98 with little over 40 seconds left on the clock.
Drive to the hole, wrap, Mobley, easy does it, big fella.
Darius Garland has been through the ringer this season due to myriad issues. He scored more points in Game 5 than in Games 3 and 4 combined, and took the most shots of all 5 games thus far. His aggressiveness and willingness to take on the defense was a refreshing sight considering how often he has deferred to Donovan Mitchell this year. Don must have sensed this, as when the game was on the line, he made sure that Garland was the one to make the right play down the stretch. Here's to hoping this newfound confidence sticks with DG, who prior to Game 5 was legitimately struggling. Number 3, 0. JB Bickerstaff finally did it, Cavs fans. He made the switch. He pulled the plug. He adjusted. JB Bickerstaff benched George D-Wagon Niang. He would see the floor for 0 minutes. And look, I am an avid fan of George Niang, but having said that, not even I can ignore the fact that his minutes have been god-awful. Screw the plus minus. It's a damn lie. Through his 4 appearances in this series, Niang is averaging 3.5 points, 1.5 rebounds, and half an assist while shooting 22.7% from the field, including 9.1% from 3-point range. 9.1%, my friends. Frankly speaking, for a player who was essentially signed to provide floor spacing within the front court for moments like this, it's pitiful. He was brought in to knock down shots, and through 4 appearances, he has made just 1 of his 11 attempts. 1. Sheesh. This isn't even mentioning the fact that he has been a major target defensively. According to NBA.com's finicky tracking data, Niang's matchups have gone 24 of 40 against him during the course of this series. That is 60%. There is no other player that has done more damage to him than that of Paolo Banchero, who has gone 9 of 17, or simply 52.9% against him. It's been rough, and that's putting it nicely. So who did JB Bickerstaff replace him with? That would be Marcus Morris Sr., and boy would that pay off. The 12-year vet provided just about everything you could ask for as he took over for the struggling Niang. In 26 very impactful minutes, Marcus Morris would provide solid defense, well, at least as solid as you can against a very good scorer in Paolo Banchero. He spaced the floor, making more triples in Game 1 than Niang has in 4 games combined.
Rebounded Mobley. The kick, Morris. And the veteran knocks it down.
And he stepped up when the Cavs needed him most, knocking down his shots exactly when the Cavs seemed to be letting things slip away. Credit to JB for finally seeing the light and pulling the plug on Niang for now. Number 4. After failing to score in double digits in the previous 4 contests, swingman Max Strus stepped up in a big way by knocking down 4 timely triples, more than his 4 previous games combined. In games 1 through 4, Strus would go a paltry 3 of 17 from 3-point distance, 17.6%. That is abysmal shooting for a player who was brought in to knock down shots. Strus would go a much more efficient 4 of 10 from deep. He did damage in transition, hitting pull-up trays.
Strus the other way. Fires in transition. And Max Strus.
Off of catch and shoot opportunities.
It sounds good.
And off of screens as we have been accustomed to seeing him do this season.
Garland, Strus, DJ, Barry, Maxey.
Overall, it was great to see Strus bombing the Magic from beyond the arc, considering this is exactly why he was acquired and with the stakes of this game in general. And I mean, don't get me wrong, he has been doing some other things to justify his minutes, like his rebounding, and in case you were unaware, Max Strus has now grabbed 6 or more rebounds in 3 out of the 5 games in this series. But to keep it a buck, Strus needs to hit these shots in order for Cleveland to have a successful postseason run. His value doesn't immediately turn in on itself when he fails to do so, like say George Niang, but it's still diminished when that becomes the case. Here's to hoping Max Strus has finally put it all together and can be more of a threat moving forward. Go Cavs!